This isn't a pep talk. It's a system. Override. Because what I'm about to show you rewires how your brain responds. Under fire. You'll stop begging for peace. You'll start operating like a strategist in chaos. This doesn't make you better at handling emotions. Makes you immune to emotional collapse. And once you cross this line, you don't go back to normal. You become the storm. Before we begin, understand this. This video is not entertainment. It's psychological warfare broken into 3 phases. In part 1, we reveal a brain hack designed for one moment only. The moment right before your mind breaks. Not after, not when it's calm, but mid-collapse when most people shatter, and a few evolve. Part 2 will expose the hidden cost of becoming emotionally unbreakable. The warnings no one tells you about strength that goes too far. And in Part 3, we'll show you how to carry power without losing the last pieces of your humanity. You've been warned. Stay till the end or don't watch at all. Let's begin. There's a moment right before you break where your mind either crumbles or rebuilds itself mid-sea collapse. That's the moment this brain hack was designed for. It's called cognitive reframing. Under fire. And it's one of the rarest, deadliest mental tools a person can develop. This isn't your typical think positive garbage. It's not about pretending things are fine. It's about weaponizing your perception when everything's falling apart. Most people get hit with pain and they absorb it. They become it. They drown in it. But a mind trained in reframing, it converts pain into power in real time. Not why is this happening to me, but what part of me is being reforged by this? Not this broke me, but this revealed who I actually am. Not I can't take this, but let's see what I become because of this. Here's how it works. Your brain isn't reacting to the world. It's reacting to the story you tell about it. Change the story. Change the outcome. Reframe the experience. And the pain becomes purpose. This is not suppression. It's transmutation. You are not denying the wound. You are giving it direction. You are not numbing out. You are tuning in with ruthless clarity. This is the foundation of inhuman strength. You stop spiraling. You stop playing victim. You stop begging life to be easier and start demanding that you become harder to break. And when that clicks, nothing outside of you has power anymore because the battle no longer depends on what hits you, only on what you do with it. Here are 5 drills to master this brain hack. You're not reacting to life. You're rehearsing for it. This tactic builds a psychological pre-response library. So when real pressure hits, you've already lived it in your mind. The brain doesn't fully distinguish between imagined experience and real experience. Visualizing high-stress events while in a calm, grounded state builds neurological familiarity. That familiarity reduces shock, panic, and hesitation. When the real thing hits, choose your emotional Achilles heel. Public failure, rejection from someone you admire, betrayal by someone you trust. Then step into the strongest version of yourself. Visualize them facing that moment. What is their posture? What is their internal dialogue? What emotion do they allow? What do they override? You're training your emotional immune system. So when pain hits, you don't break. You activate. We don't prepare for the battle. We become it before it happens. You're triggered. You pause. You say nothing. You do nothing. Not because you're weak, because you're studying, because you're choosing. Delayed domination over instant reaction. Reacting emotionally hands power to the moment. This drill roots behavior from the limbic system, emotion center, to the prefrontal cortex, decision-making center. You're creating internal distance between stimulus and response, a gap where control lives. Pick 3 micro-moments every day. Someone interrupts you, a coworker disrespects you, a loved one disappoints you. In those moments, no flinch, no defense, no expression, just silent awareness. You take notes mentally, emotionally, strategically, and you respond hours later. Calm, calculated, surgical. What it builds: emotional invisibility, psychological intimidation. You become unpredictable, and unpredictability is dominance. Words aren't affirmations. They're commands. You don't say them to feel good. You say them to program your core operating system under duress. Repetition wires belief, especially when paired with adversity. When you repeat a phrase during stress, your brain links that phrase to survival. Eventually, that phrase becomes a trigger for power, not panic. Choose one phrase. Say it when you're tired, you're anxious, you're disrespected, you're rejected. No. Emotion controls me. Pain sharpens me. I'm not reacting. I'm rewriting. Over time, the phrase becomes instinct. And instinct is stronger than thought. Impulse is emotional sabotage in disguise. Tactical delay rewires your decision-making system by forcing your brain to wait until emotion has burned off. Strong emotion clouds executive function. Waiting 24 hours gives your brain time to recalibrate, so your decision is made by strategy, not chemistry. Whenever you want to fire off a rage text, quit something out of fear, make a dramatic exit, give in to temptation or pride, you don't act. You document. You let time remove the emotional fog. Then you strike or walk from total clarity. What it builds: command over time, impulse control, psychological power others feel but don't understand. Choose one emotion you've been feeding like a god, then cut it off. No expression, no indulgence, no justification, just denial. Cold and clear. Overindulged emotions become emotional parasites. You think you're feeling them when really they're feeding on you. By fasting, you expose the addiction. You reclaim emotional sovereignty. Pick the one that owns you. Guilt, insecurity, anger, validation, hunger for 7 days. When it rises, observe it, deny it. Don't act on it. Don't feed it. Don't rationalize it. Journal what it says, what it wants you to do. Then do the opposite. By day 7, you'll realize it was never part of your power. It was feeding on your power. Now you own it or it dies. Not stupid. You're just running old software. What if I told you that your intelligence can be sharpened, enhanced, and reprogrammed into something cold, efficient, unshakable, and your understanding of manipulation reconstructed from scratch into a weapon of silent dominance? That's exactly what whisper secret, ruthless intelligence and manipulation was created to do. Inside this mind-altering book, you'll discover the Mind Fortress technique to Gain unshakable mental control under chaos. Mental manipulation mastery to control conversations, perception, and people. Neuroessentialism. The intelligence upgrade that kills. Emotional interference. The final transcendence where your mind evolves. Past human conditioning. They taught you to be emotional, to react, to beg for logic instead of owning it. But that ends now. It's time to become dangerously intelligent. Read it now. Link is in the comment. This is mental combat. Conditioning. Each drill exists to carve a new identity under pressure, one that doesn't beg for emotional safety, but builds clarity inside chaos. You're not training to survive storms, or training to build them and walk through others like wind. You are reclaiming the throne inside your mind, not giving it to your trauma, not handing it to your habits, not renting it out to other people's approval. Because Inhuman, strength doesn't come from feeling less, comes from owning what you feel then. Weaponizing. The first casualty of extreme resilience isn't weakness, it's memory. The stronger you become, the easier it gets to dismiss your past pain. You forget how much it hurt. You forget what it cost you to survive. You forget what it was like to be soft and still, breathing. And that forgetfulness, it creates blind spots in empathy, in leadership, in relationships. You stop relating. You start judging. You look at people breaking down and think, why can't they just get up? But you've forgotten what crawling felt like. And if you forget that too long, you'll become the very thing that once destroyed you, but this time wearing your face. When you never show weakness, people stop offering you truth. They begin to obey you, fear you, project onto you. You become a projection screen for power, not a person. And here's the trap. That feels good at first. No resistance, no vulnerability, no mess. But over time, that control begins to isolate you from authentic feedback. No one challenges you. No one checks you. No one tells you what you need to hear. Only what they think you want to. And if that goes unchecked, you don't become wise. You become untouchable and, eventually, unteachable. The more you harden, the more you protect yourself. Not just from pain, but from connection. You stop letting people close. You stop letting them see you. You become the strong one. All the time. But strength with no cracks is a wall. And a wall doesn't just keep danger out. It keeps everything out. You'll start noticing something strange. Conversations feel surface level. Intimacy feels inefficient. Vulnerability feels like a threat to your identity. And over time, you'll find yourself surrounded by silence, not because no one's talking, but because you stopped letting anyone matter. The final war isn't external, it's internal. Once you've trained your mind to be unshakable, once you've stopped reacting, stopped explaining, stopped needing, you reach a terrifying place. Nothing breaks you, but nothing moves you either. You've built walls so high, even you can't hear your own soul echoing inside. That's where this phase begins. Because real mastery isn't just surviving pressure. It's surviving your own power without letting it erase what made you human. Anyone can become strong when they hate weakness, but to stay human when you no longer need to be, that's something else entirely. That's where the greats are separated from the ghosts. So, let's rebuild the map.
One
That keeps your spine steel and your
heart
intact. You've trained to override your emotions. You've reframed pain.
You've
Silenced reactions. But here's the truth. Emotion is not the enemy. Unfiltered, unconscious emotion is. Emotions carry information.
When you kill them completely, you lose the
Signal, the message inside the chaos. So, the goal now is to listen without obeying. Feel without falling.
let
Sadness whisper. Let anger knock.
let
Fear speak, but never hand them the microphone. Never let them drive the
car.
You are the translator now.
You
Extract the meaning, not the madness. This is non-negotiable.
you
Can't be hard everywhere and expect to stay whole. The world will ask for your edge, but your soul needs one space where the blade can be set down.
that
Might be a partner who sees you. Journal where you bleed in ink. Meditation where the mask comes off. Moment with your younger self in silence. That space is sacred. It's not weakness. It's your return point.
the
Proof that you are still in there, beneath the armor. Because if you don't choose where to be gentle, your mind will forget how to be.
and once
Gentleness dies, so does everything that made the strength worth it. This is the most subtle trap.
you become
Strong to escape manipulation.
then
Begin to manipulate. You become silent to avoid chaos. Then start using silence as a weapon. You become disciplined to avoid pain. Then start inflicting that same pain onto others who haven't earned their scars yet. That's the danger, that you turn into the thing you had to survive. But now it wears your face.
now
It speaks your voice.
now it calls.
It's self-growth. So check yourself.
Why am I saying this?
Who am I trying to control right now? Am I creating clarity or compliance? Because you can win every argument and still lose your soul doing. When no one can stop you, you must stop yourself. When you can justify anything, you need something higher than your ego to answer to. Enter your code. This is your unbreakable inner law.
the
Rules you write when your mind is clear, so you don't betray them when your ego is loud. It should be specific, ruthless, personal. Examples: I do not punish others for my past. I never speak to control, only to reveal. I don't fake emotions to manipulate connection. If I lose empathy, I lose the game. This is your compass in chaos, your leash on the monster, your tether to the part of you that remembers the mission. Without this code, strength will morph into power, addiction, and that addiction, it never ends clean. There's one more piece. You can't grow alone forever, because no matter how strong you become, the human need to be seen doesn't die. It just gets quieter, quieter until it becomes a silent scream. That's why you must seek out the rare ones. People who don't fear your silence. People who don't shrink when you don't react. People who challenge your thinking without needing to fix it. People who see your power and still look you in the eyes as an equal. Those people, they don't need you to soften, but they won't let you disappear either. And that's where you find your center again. Not in the crowd, not in the applause, but in real raw recognition. Connection that doesn't need you to be humanly weak only to be honestly human. You can lead, you can dominate. You can walk into any room and control the energy. But if you lose presence, you'll forget why you built any of it. Presence isn't emotion. It's awareness. It's the part of you that's here, real, awake. The part of you that remembers what you felt before the numbness. Who you were before the silence. Why you started this journey in the first place. Presence is the pulse beneath the armor. Keep it alive or you become the armor itself. So here it is. You've built the strength. Now build the discipline to carry it like a weapon, not wear it like a mask. Stay sharp. Stay precise. Stay dangerous. But never stop being human on purpose. Because real power isn't just being cold under fire. It's being warm by choice and still untouchable. That's the real monster. That's the real master.